Well, originally, there was going to be a gameplay video for the Tales of Abyss demo. I recorded about 40 minutes of gameplay with commentary, and then I realized I hadn't set OBS to record the output for the game audio. So it's just me talking over dead air. So instead of putting that up and trying to find some background music or something to put to it, I just instead decided to give you the things I liked and my first impressions from what I've played in the demo. So in case you're unaware, Tales of Abyss, the latest in the Tales series, the first in a little bit. It's obviously the first that's going to be cross-gen with the current and next-gen, or current and last-gen, I guess, depending on what you have. And if you've watched my JRPG upcoming video, I said I was excited because it looked like they were finally taking a step forward visually to kind of go away from those late PS3 era graphics that a lot of JRPGs had, even with the Xbox One and PS4, and finally start to kind of go for a better look graphically. I do think they accomplished that. That was one of the first things I noticed. Was I do like the look of the game. Of course, I don't expect every company to be Square Enix level where they have the money to make it look insane with the CGI, but I did like what I saw, at least visually. But before I get too crazy and start just rambling on tangents, I do want to kind of go, at least try and go in some sort of order. So first, the combat. I really enjoyed what I played with the combat. The combos aren't, anything too complicated. It's pretty straightforward as far as your dodging mechanics, certain buttons or certain attacks, and you can put them together. Like I said, not anything too complicated, but I did enjoy it. One thing that stuck out to me was that it was very, very fluid. And I used the comparison of Sword Art games, which I've played the last two. And for me, I don't know if anyone out there really enjoys them. If so, I apologize. But the combat always felt a little bit clunky and not exactly as responsive as I would have liked it to be. And in Tales of Arise, I felt like it was very responsive. Not perfect by any means, but it felt very smooth to me. The other thing that kind of goes around with combat and gameplay was the fact that I guess it's always been in Tales games, but it really felt like it stood out in this game when I was playing the demo, that they have an MMO party style system. So you can see when you're picking your character, they let you pick from the 6 characters, I believe it's 6, and you can try each of them out and get a special ending for each one. But you can actually switch in game to play whoever you want as well. But you'll see you have kind of your tank, your rogue, your mage, your healer, your ranged, your warrior, very like MMO-esque classes for the characters. And I actually really enjoyed that. And I thought it was fun. I thought the AI was surprisingly competent. You can switch, how you want the AI to react. I did find that when I died, and like all my party was gone, the AI kind of didn't really know what to do. Like sometimes he was just standing there defensively. But I found when I switched the party commands for how you want the AI to act, and you can set up to 4, I believe, they were more aggressive. I did really like that it had that MMO style of gameplay and feel. AI was competent. You had the healers, they resed you when you died. If you have them set to that, if you can have it so they don't do that, and they focus more on trying to kill the enemy. And which kind of brings me to my next point, is getting in and out of combat was very seamless in my opinion. There wasn't long in between screens. It was very go. So there is an open world. If you've played Tales games, it's basically the same type of open world that it always is. If you're unfamiliar, it is open world, but the battles are instant. So you go into an enemy and it turns into a battle. It's not like an open world battle like Kingdom Hearts or something like that. But I did find the transitions in and out of battle were pretty smooth. Overall, I did like the gameplay and the combat system. I would definitely recommend checking it out for yourself. If you have a system that can get the demo, that's always the best way to see if you're gonna like a game. And a game like Tales, while there's plenty of fans who I'm sure love the story and love the characters, and that's a big part of the Tales series, at the end of the day, gameplay is going to be what makes or breaks the game for you, or at least for a lot of people. Now, speaking of the characters and the story, I was a little disappointed that they didn't give you more of the story. I get that they're trying to keep that, I guess, under wraps or not give away too much. They dropped you off, you're about level 26, so you have all your party members, so I'm guessing you're a little bit, past at least the prologue part of the game. But they don't give you really an opening cutscene or any context for what's going on. And I haven't looked too deep into it besides the trailers, so I'm not too familiar with the story. I do wish they had given you at least a little more of a tease of that. But one thing I did love that they've changed with the party conversations, they're now not just the squares talking or the character outline talking, it's actually comic style party conversations or comic panel style party conversations, and you'll see them in the video. And I actually thought that was a really cool change. The only downside I could see is that they are a little bit lengthy, and like I was constantly I guess because where they dropped you off in the game, you just had all these stored up character conversations, but RB was always flashing for me to like watch a new comic cutscene. And that's one of the parts I love about Tales, but at the same time it was starting to feel a little bit time consuming when I kind of just wanted to get into the game, so I had to ignore it for a little bit. But I do like that change, stylistically at least. And if you're also familiar with the Tales series, you'll know, those scenes are usually voiced. They are voiced in this game as well. I played with the English voice acting. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. I didn't have any complaints about it, being bad or anything like that. The voices seemed to fit the characters. You could kind of get a little bit of a dynamic going on between the main guy and the main girl. You could kind of see what their dynamic was. Some of the other party members, you kind of got a taste of their dynamic as well. So character wise, you can definitely get a vibe for whether you're going to enjoy this specific cast of characters. And if you're a fan of Tales games of the past, I feel like generally speaking, they always do the characters and the party aspect really fun for the most part. So we talked about gameplay, we talked about the characters, and those, for me at least, two of the main aspects of Tales games that are going to help you decide whether you want to get the game or not. Lastly, I'll just say, for those of you who are wondering if you will like the game, if you're not sure yet, if you like the open world JRPG formula, you will like Tales of Abyss. I almost guarantee it. If you're not a big fan of the open world aspect, having to go fight mobs to level up so you can beat the next boss, or things of that nature, finding materials so you can craft and that type of stuff, you might not like it as much, because it does have that aspect where you can't always just go straight line, plow straight ahead for the storyline. Other than that, like I said, check out the demo for yourself. It'll help you decide whether you want to play it or not. It's always best to do that. I do like that Bandai does that. Given how they also are very pre-order heavy, I like that they at least give you a demo to try it out, and then you can make a decision for yourself. That's all I've got for today, guys. Until next time, talk to you later.